So here's the thing that most people don't realize. Not any tick can transmit Lyme, but any tick bite can lead to symptoms that feel just like it. That's one reason why so many people get misdiagnosed, because the tick you saw doesn't match the infection you have. In this video, I'll break it all down so you finally know what to look for. Lyme disease in the strict sense is caused by the bacteria Borrelia burgdorferi, but there's 50 other species of Borrelia that exist. The main way people get Borrelia is from a tick bite. When the tick bites you and has a blood meal, it releases saliva into your bloodstream, which contains dozens of bacteria. Later, we'll go into all the factors, but just know that the amount of time that it feeds and whether or not it gets a blood meal, it all matters for whether or not it transmits Lyme disease to you. But first, which tick species do carry Lyme disease and should be watched out for at all costs? First, we have the black-legged tick, Ixodes scapularis. This tick is in the eastern and midwestern United States. This is the typical Lyme disease tick that you think of. Oftentimes, they attach to deer. So if you live in a place that has a ton of deer, you should be way more careful. For example, I grew up in Northeast Pennsylvania where there was herds of deer just walking past our house every single morning. If we went in the woods, we were definitely exposed to black-legged ticks pretty often. After playing in the woods all day as a kid, it wasn't rare to find a tick on your skin. Then on the west coast, there's the western black-legged tick, Ixodes pacificus. This tick is also capable of transmitting Lyme disease specifically. Some people think you can only get it on the east coast. Well, that's simply not true. There's loads of ticks and wooded areas on the west coast as well. Black-legged ticks of any kind are the biggest known vector of Lyme disease and co-infections. These are the ones you really want to be careful about. And something really important to know is that there's a nymph stage where this tick is the size of a poppy seed. They're very, very small. So biting and feeding on a host can go unnoticed for long periods of time, and that is a huge risk to you and your health. The nymph stage of these ticks can still carry and transmit Lyme disease bacteria. If you're looking for a giant tick on your skin, look closer. These things are very tiny. Chances are, if you live in an area that's known for Lyme disease incidents, then you will already know and have seen these black-legged ticks before. The Northeast and Midwest region of the United States is where they mainly stay. Places like Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Ohio, and Michigan are among some of the top Lyme disease states. It's because that's where these black-legged ticks live. But there's loads of other tick species, so which ones do not carry Lyme disease specifically? And what do they carry? What should we watch out for? First is the Lone Star tick. This is found in the southern and the southeastern US. The scientific name is Amblyomma americanum. This tick does not carry Lyme disease in the strict sense, but it still carries loads of other co-infections that we think of when we talk about Lyme disease. For example, alpha-gal, ehrlichiosis, and other common tick-borne diseases. Next, we have the American dog tick. The scientific name is Dermacentor variabilis. This tick generally lives just east of the Rockies and is very known for transmitting Rocky Mountain spotted fever, which is another common tick-borne disease. So those are two common ticks that don't carry Borrelia specifically, but they carry loads of other infections that we should worry about. There's also the brown dog tick and the Gulf Coast tick, which are ticks that carry other pathogens, but not specifically Borrelia burgdorferi. So here's the key to understand for this video. Not every tick bite leads to Lyme disease specifically, Borrelia burgdorferi specifically, but they all carry pathogens, they all carry infections, they can infect you with different types of tick-borne illnesses. Understanding the differences between the tick species is so important. You can take the right steps, you can get the right testing, and you can avoid missing an infection that needs your attention. There's lots of factors that influence whether or not a tick bite leads directly to Lyme disease. Number one is the tick species. Like we just discussed, if it's a species that doesn't carry Borrelia burgdorferi, you won't get Lyme disease in the strict sense, but you can still get other infections. Number two is the infection prevalence in that specific tick and or in that specific area where the ticks live. Are the ticks infected with Borrelia burgdorferi? Are they infected with any other strains? If you live in an area with a high incidence of these diseases, then the answer is likely yes. Number three is the duration of attachment. The longer it's attached, the higher risk is involved. Sometimes you'll hear doctors say that it has to be attached for 48 hours in order to get Lyme disease. That's simply not true. From talking to dozens of people, most people say it wasn't attached for 48 hours and they still have all these insane symptoms months later. Number 4 is the tick life stage. As previously discussed, the nymphs are often the most dangerous because, again, they're the size of a poppy seed. They're so small, people miss them, and they can still transmit bacteria, pathogens, and Lyme disease. Number 5 is the geographic region. As discussed, the Northeast has a huge number of cases. That's where I'm from, and I know a lot of people that have been directly affected from Lyme disease. Their kids have been affected from Lyme disease, or someone they know has been affected from Lyme. Lyme has been found in all 50 states of the United States of America. It's been found in Europe. It's been found in Australia. It's been found all over the world, but it definitely concentrates in specific areas where black-legged ticks tend to live and thrive. And number 6 is the human factor of it all. Are you checking for ticks? Are you removing them promptly? Are you wearing protective clothing? All of this matters for whether or not you transmit Lyme disease as well. Here's how to prevent tick bites and Lyme disease transmission. Number 1, wear protective clothing. Talking about long sleeves, pants tucked into your socks. Anything you can do to make sure that your skin is covered while you're out in nature can be very helpful to prevent tick from biting your skin. Number 2, use EPA registered repellents. Especially if you're someone that spends a lot of time in the woods like a hunter, you want to treat your clothing and your gear with something that causes ticks to die. You can use natural bug repellents, and honestly, we give them away for free to our clients who sign up for a LymeWars recovery kit. It looks like this. It comes in your box, and you'll have natural bug oil that you can put on the back of your neck, on your arms, anywhere where you're exposed so that ticks, bugs stay away. It even works for mosquitoes and other bugs as well. Again, it's free for all of our subscribers to the LymeWars recovery kit at LymeWars.com. Number 3, do tick checks right after outdoor activity. Just do a quick scan of your skin, maybe even touch your skin. Make sure there's no small or large ticks attached to your body. Number 4, if you do see a tick, remove the tick promptly. Here's how you do it. Use tweezers. Grab the tick, pull straight up. Do not twist. Do not do some of those weird home remedies that you see where they heat it up with a lighter and all that weird stuff. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is grab the tick with tweezers and pull it straight out. If the head rips off, the saliva will continue to be released into your bloodstream and you'll still be at risk for Lyme disease for a long period of time. That's why it's so important to pull straight up instead of twisting. While people think that the EM rash happens at the site of a tick bite, it's more often that it happens wherever it wants to. Personally, I had 4 different blotches of this rash on my body, and it was nowhere near where I got bitten by a tick. Plus, I got bitten by a tick 20 years earlier. If this all sounds confusing, well, it kind of is. There's no saying whether your symptoms will show up tomorrow or 10 years from now. All we know is that the body is constantly dealing with these different bacteria and infections. If you've been bitten by a tick and then you have a fever or joint pain or fatigue or that EM rash, seek medical attention right away. In fact, the best advice that I could possibly give you is if you're bitten by a tick, go directly to seek medical attention. You can sometimes get prophylactic antibiotics, which can absolutely help destroy any bacteria that goes into your body so that you don't have to deal with this years down the road, months down the road, and you won't have to have the symptoms that absolutely destroyed mine and a lot of my friends' lives. And finally, please recognize that if you've been bitten by a tick, you are at risk. There's no point in sugarcoating it or trying to beat around it or saying Lyme disease happens in these specific ticks, but not in these ticks. The real truth is that ticks carry diseases. If you've been bitten by a tick, whether it was for 5 minutes or 5 hours or 48 hours, you should still go seek medical attention because it is way better to be safe than be sorry. Why do I say that? Well, I ended up in a very serious case that landed me in the hospital. My heart rate wasn't working correctly. My heart rate was dropping. I also had the fatigue, the joint pain, the sleepless night. I had almost all the symptoms you can imagine, from brain fog, anxiety, depression, to a heart that was no longer working correctly. And I don't want that to happen to you. It took me a long time and thousands of dollars to get my health back. That's why I help other people here on this YouTube channel. So no, not all ticks carry Lyme disease specifically, but they all carry all types of different pathogens, bacteria, and things that can give you infections. In the US, the primary Lyme disease specific vector is black-legged ticks and the West Coast black-legged ticks. Many other ticks bite humans, but they transmit different diseases. So prevention and rapid tick removal are your best defense, but always seek medical attention as well. If you suspect you've been exposed in a high-risk area, or if you develop symptoms, consult a healthcare professional today. And look, on this channel, when I say Lyme, and I say LymeWars, and I say Lyme disease, I'm more often referring to into the overall picture of tick-borne illnesses. I'm not necessarily talking about this very specific bacteria of Borrelia burgdorferi. Again, there's 50 species of Borrelia and there's hundreds of strains. There's also dozens of species of ticks that carry all types of pathogens that cause all types of different infections. I'm not only focusing on one specific bacteria, I'm trying to help people with the problem at large, getting their health in order after a tick-borne illness. For that reason, my definition of Lyme is any illness that's been transmitted by a tick. For myself and so many others, herbal antimicrobials and a holistic approach to wellness is what get us out of this dark place with Lyme disease, co-infections, and other tick-borne diseases. You can take back your body. I've done it, and thousands of others have done it as well.